All right, go ahead and get started. Good evening and welcome to this Tuesday, June 20th, 2023 meeting of the Raymore Planning and Zoning Commission. If you would, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, jump into roll call. Looks like Commissioner Bowie is not present. Commissioner Smith.
Present.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Present.
Vice Chair Fizer.
Present.
Commissioner Manser.
Present.
Secretary Peterman.
Present.
Commissioner Kia is out of town. Mayor Turnbow.
Present.
And Chairman Wiggins is here, so we will have 7 for this evening. No personal appearances scheduled on the agenda tonight. We do have one item on our consent agenda, which is item A, the approval of minutes from the June 6, 2023 meeting. I entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir, Mr. Faulkner.
I move that we accept minutes from our June 6, 2023 meeting with one minor correction, item 12 adjournment. Per the video, it's seconded by Commissioner Bowie rather than Urquia.
Okay. And do I have a second? I've got a motion by Commissioner Faulkner, second by Commissioner Smith, to accept the consent agenda with the one adjustment regarding the second motion on the adjournment. Is that correct?
The second on the
Correct.
motion to adjourn. Yes.
Very good. Any discussion of the item? If not, all in favor? Opposed? And abstentions?
Abstain. I'll abstain.
Thank you, sir. And just for the record, I did go through and read all of our minutes, so that's, although I was absent last week, that's why I did vote this evening. All right, so that will be 6-0-1 for the record. We have no unfinished business this evening, but we have 2 items of new business. First is item A, case 23022, Grant Park Villas site plan. I would ask the applicant to please come forward to present your case.
Good evening, Commission. It's great to be back in front of you all again. I recognize a couple faces. I was first before you. I'm sorry, I'm Jeff Beckler with Zimmerman Properties. First before you all way back in 2018 when I began the rezoning process of this parcel of land. Lucky enough to share that the project has now received that equity funding that we've been seeking since 2018, and the project is moving forward. I just wanted to introduce myself. I do have Brent Sells here, who is our lead engineer on the development. If, you know, should you have any questions that gets into the nuts and bolts of site plan and final plat, Brent is here to take those questions as well. Just wanted to introduce myself. Been before you all, been before council, again, since 2018, much more than planning commission. Once the rezone happened, I went before council quite a few times, looking for city council support, and we'll receive that each year. So again, I just wanted to introduce myself. It's been a great experience working with the city of Raymore thus far. I've been up here a lot of times since 2018, and it's always been a pleasure. So again, just wanted to introduce myself, and if you guys have any questions for me or Brent, for me specifically on the developer side, I'm happy to answer anything you guys have.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. As always, I always ask the commission if they have any immediate questions for the applicant. Otherwise, we will move to city staff report. All right. Thank you, sir. I'll turn it over to staff. And just for the record, I will note Commissioner Bowie is present. So, city staff, please.
Thanks, sir. Good evening, Chairman and members of the Commission. Tonight you have in front of you a request for the site plan approval for Grant Park Villas. The property is located east of North Adams Street and south of West Grant Drive, which is just kind of that southeast intersection of where those 2 streets collide. You'll see some site pictures from the north, south, east, and west with the existing zoning of the property for R3B Apartment Community Residential District. To the north, you've kind of got you really just have a swath of different uses around it. To the north, you have the point, which is kind of the attached single family. To the south is church and financial planning offices. To the east is undeveloped and single-family, and to the west is a multi-tenant industrial use. The tract size of this is 3.807 acres, and you'll see that this is actually being run concurrent with the final plat tonight, which is Lot 1 of Grant Park Villas. The growth management plan identifies this area as appropriate for commercial development. A major thoroughfare plan classifies West Grant Drive and North Adams Street as local roads. You'll have in front of you 4 different items for just kind of the history on the property. The commercial lots surrounding the southeast portion of the subject property were developed as part of the Cumberland Plaza development, where it was approved by the city in August of 1994. Ramblewood subdivision, which is located directly east of the property, was rezoned to R1 single family and to a PUD designation in 2009. The Point at Raymore, which is a 74-unit townhome subdivision, was rezoned from R3B to R3A, which allowed that townhome community to be developed, and that was approved in 2009 as well. City Council approved the rezoning for the subject property from C2 to R3B on November 25th, 2019. So with that, you'll see that there was a condition as far as the east property line that actually abuts what would be Ramblewood. There was a condition that with that rezoning that there would be a type A screening that would be required. And so on the plans, you will see a type A screening with it's a 6-foot proposed vinyl privacy fence. There is a special use condition within these comments that we have. Kind of the biggest one that comes to mind within that special use is or special condition is the minimum separation between buildings. The applicant has sufficed for those minimum separations. Parking, as this is an apartment complex, the parking was calculated at 1.5 per dwelling unit. So with 48 dwelling units, 72 parking spaces were required. However, 96 of those parking spaces have been required, so they've exceeded that requirement, as well as accessible parking spaces being met. With regards to landscaping, 30% of the site is required, and the applicant has met that with 50%. No screening is required along the west or south side of the property. Type A is required on the north, which abuts the Point. And then obviously we've kind of went over the east side. Landscaping is required around the proposed monument. I had informed the applicant that they are allowed to do 2 monument signs as this is a corner lot. However, they're opting to just do the ones, but they'll require a separate sign permit when that comes, and I'll be checking for those things. Pedestrian access is going to be required off of Adams Street. However, you will notice that there was not a pedestrian access required along the north side. If you went out to the property, the existing 4-foot sidewalk actually terminates before the end of the property, and so there's actually no connectivity that goes behind Ramblewood, and so staff did not feel that it was a requirement to have that pedestrian access from the right-of-way, as it's more internally a private site. This is going to be more or less if you live there. It's not so much if you're coming to shop or those types of things. Stormwater management. So stormwater is going to be collected on site and discharged to an existing retention basin, located at the northeast corner of the subject property. Improvements are going to need to be made as they're improving the flow a little bit, but minor overall. Site access is going to be gained from Adams and from Grant Drive. Staff does recommend to the Planning Commission to accept the staff proposed findings of fact and approve case number 23022, Grant Park Villas, a site plan subject to the following 15 conditions. This concludes staff report.
Thank you, sir. Do any members of the commission have any questions for staff?
Mr. Chair,
Sir.
I would ask, is there any significant differences, and maybe you guys can even answer this too, any significant differences from your initial proposal to what you're providing us tonight?
From the time I first started seeing you guys in like 2019, not much has changed as far as the upfront development, preliminary site plan, what we submit in our housing application. It's very, very similar to what we submitted way back in 2019. The one big change is we had originally applied as a 55 and up. This has nothing to do with design, but I just want to let everybody know. Was a 55 and up development. This is now a multifamily development. But other than that, as far as design, it's very similar.
Are there any significant differences to the point where the state of Missouri might look at your application for grant to be a more attractive to them? I think you talked about providing a 15% set aside for veterans. Is that
Correct.
is that the case still?
That's still the case. Yeah, they label it as vulnerable populations, and we've elected to work with West Central Community Action, as you know, right across the street, and they will be. It's a homeless veteran set aside, is how they describe it. And yes, some of those units, 15%, 12 or 15%, but here or there, will be for homeless veterans. Correct.
And that is still. Are they still going to be your management agency?
Yes, yes,
For
sir.
the facility.
Yes,
Okay.
West Central will be the property manager on this.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah,
All right. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any additional questions by members of the commission for either the applicant or city staff? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to dispose of this item, please.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
I make a motion that the Planning and Zoning Commission accept the staff proposed findings of fact and approve case number 23022 Grant Park Villas, subject to the 15 conditions as outlined.
Second.
We've got a motion by Mayor Turnbow, second by Commissioner Faulkner, for the Planning and Zoning Commission to accept the staff proposed findings of fact and approve case 23022 Grant Park Villas site plan, subject to the 15 conditions outlined. Any discussion of the item, please? Seeing none, all in favor? Seeing all hands raised, that will pass unanimously, 8-0. Thank you. That will take us to our next item, similar. Case 23023, Lot 1, Grant Park Villas, final plat. I don't know if the applicant has anything addition to add, otherwise I would turn it directly over to city staff, whichever. Is there anything to add? Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Dylan.
Again, you have in front of you final plat approval, Lot 1, Grant Park Villas. Property is located east of North Adams Street and south of West Grant Drive. Property is zoned as R3B Apartment Community District, and total tract size is 3.807 acres, with a total lot of 1, and density provided is 12.61 dwelling units per acre. The history is just the same as the previous projects, so these two obviously are running concurrent with each other. One thing to mention is that obviously you're used to generally seeing a preliminary plat with these. However, this was a remnant tract that was pretty much left over from all of the rest of the development surrounding it. And so when the rezoning came in, there was a meets and bounds survey that was done by the applicant. However, that was not recorded with us. We, the city, did not have that. And so the final plat was a requirement of the applicant, and so that's their request tonight. Staff does submit their proposed findings of fact and recommend to the Planning and Zoning Commission approval in forward case 23023, Lot 1, Grant Park Villas, to the City Council with the recommendation of approval. This concludes staff report.
Thank you, sir. Do any commissioners have any questions of staff or the applicant regarding this case?
One more question, Mr. Chair.
Please, Mr. Mayor.
A question about your funding. So does this, are you still required to apply for the LIHTC funding through the state? Or
No,
have you been approved?
We have been approved, Mr.
You have
Mayor.
been approved,
Yes,
okay.
sir. We were approved in December. We are going through our closing process with the state as we speak. It's going very well. I would suspect that, I'm hoping that we start scraping dirt by the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Any additional questions from commission members? If not, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item, please.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
I would also move that the Planning and Zoning Commission accept the staff proposed findings of fact and forward case number 23023, Lot 1, Grant Park Villas, to the City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Second.
I've got a motion by Mayor Turnbow, second by Commissioner Manser for the Planning and Zoning Commission to accept the staff proposed finding of fact and forward case 23023, Lot 1, Grant Park Villas, to the City Council with a recommendation of approval. Any discussion of the item? Seeing none, all in favor? That will also pass unanimously, 8-0. Thank you. That will conclude our new business tonight, which I would then turn that over, I believe, to Mr. Zur for a City Council report.
Thank you, Chairman Wiggins. I have had the opportunity to prepare a City Council report for this evening based upon the June 12th, 2023 City Council meeting. During the course of that meeting, there were 2 items on second reading or unfinished business that were read and approved for a final. First was the Madison Valley second final plat, originally approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission on the 22nd of last month by a unanimous vote. This was the 55-lot subdivision located north of 58 Highway, generally between Sunset Lane and North Madison Street. Going along right after that was the Johnston Drive right-of-way final plat. You all again considered this and unanimously voted to approve it on the 22nd. This was part of the GO bond original issuance from 2020 and basically allows for the right-of-way transfer from the current owner for the adjoining properties, which will be developed by Hunt Midwest. That is the old business, the second readings. New business items for first reading included the Settlebrook preliminary plat. There was a public hearing held at the City Council on the 12th. During the course of the original determination, that was Planning and Zoning Commission considered that on the 6th and approved it by a vote of 5-2. And then Madison Valley third final plat was also reviewed and read for the first time by the City Council. That was previously approved on June 6th by a vote of 6-0 by the Planning and Zoning Commission. I would note that all of the foregoing 4 items received unanimous City Council approval. That would conclude my staff report.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Turnbow, as always, anything to add?
Nope. Very thorough. Thank you.
sir. I'll turn it over to staff for staff report.
Thank you, sir. Our staff report is very minimal, as we wish everyone a happy 4th, because that will actually be our normally scheduled meeting, which has been canceled. So you all enjoy your holiday, and then I will be in touch with you with future applications that come in for the next meeting. So.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Grass, anything from you, sir? Salisbury? No, sir. All right. Oh, that was pretty easy. It's always public comment. If there's anybody in the waiting in the wings for public comment, please come forward. Seeing none, we will move on to commission member comments. I'll start to my immediate right, Commissioner Faulkner, sir.
Thank you to staff.
Short and sweet. I like it. Vice Chair Fizer.
Thank you, staff, and everybody have a great 4th of July.
Secretary Peterman.
Happy 4th.
Commissioner Smith.
Just hope everyone enjoys the holiday coming up.
We're trying to set a land speed record tonight. Commissioner Manser.
Thank you to staff. Have a happy 4th.
I'll go to Commissioner Bowie to let Mayor Turnbow finish up here.
Okay. Thank you to staff. I do want to say this, though, okay, for the record. What came before us today was fine. I agree with it. Looked good, felt good. But at some point, there's just that end of the city, okay? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just old. I don't know. But it just seems like we have a plan, but it just seems like that edge of the city down there where our site plan was at today, it just seems like it feels like a hodgepodge of a lot of stuff down there. Maybe I'm the only commissioner that feels or sees that. You're talking about storage facilities, you're talking about gas stations, you're talking about single-family homes, you're talking about these villas, you're talking about a transmission shop, and you're talking about all types of different stuff in a tiny little area. It feels little, but maybe it's not as little. So at some point, it would be nice to see, I just don't feel that there's a little consistency on that end of the town. Maybe I'm, not thinking right, or maybe I'm missing something, but just wanted to share that and make that a part of the record that, you know, then you just have so much down there. It's like, what are we, maybe I'm just looking at old models of what cities are supposed to look like, and I'm not, you know, keeping up with the new stuff, but I'm just not sure of and I've been on the commission 8 years, and I've been in the city 18 years. So I just haven't seen it. It just seems like we're just popping stuff up, and I'm not sure if there's any consistency there, like there may be in other parts of the city as we see. So just want to throw that out there. I didn't mean to end things on a damper note, but we do have a good note coming, hopefully, but you all have a great holiday, and I appreciate all your work.
I probably would say that I know the city staff have been working a lot on strategic plans and everything. I believe we've got a lot of stuff in the works. Hopefully we will see some continuity and some good ideas of how we can kind of make sure edge to edge that everything is well thought out. Mayor Turnbow, sir.
Yeah, so to follow up to what you had to say, Mr. Bowie, the staff has been working on a transition plan for that area for some time. With the new owners of Pine Street facility, they're working with them to try to enter into some type of development agreement for the enhancements of that shopping center and maybe some living facilities in and around that area. I do know that the Oak Ridge Farms commercial section that's going in just to the south of Sonic, where the handyman is moving his headquarters to, will be a nice facility, and then it has an open commercial building next to it that economic development is working on feverishly to try to find a tenant for that. And you know, you've got some other improvements that have gone on and around that area. Even the old car wash is getting a workover, and there's a rehab facility going in, or not a rehab facility, what do they call that? Physical therapy, thank you, facility going in what used to be the old flower shop, which was fairly run down for some time. And I know we're trying to put lipstick on it and make it look a little bit better. It is going to take time. I know we've been working on a boulevard plan for that section of 58 Highway to try to beautify that, to make that more attractive, which will hopefully draw redevelopment dollars to that area, because there are some facilities down there that probably do need to be raised and rethought out on what's best for that area. So I do appreciate your comments, but I want to let you know we've been giving that area a lot of attention. Of course, you know, the new Criminal Justice Center, once that funding is approved, probably a couple of years before we go to the public with that one, but the land has been acquired for it, and I think that will also draw a lot more attention to the value of that region, and hopefully we'll bring in some outside development money that will beautify it even more than what we're trying to do now. So keep your fingers crossed on that. And thanks to staff for everything you do, and that's all I have this evening, sir.
Thank you, sir. Correct me on the date, July 1st, fireworks?
Yes, so Friday, it's the Friday prior, so it may actually be June. What is the Friday prior?
Is
I
it
think it's the 30th.
Okay.
So
That's why I wanted correction.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
it's the Friday prior to the 4th, and so it will be that June 30th will be the fireworks.
Down at Memorial,
show
or
at that
at Rec Park.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah,
So-
same vendor. But because we do that not on July the 4th, is able to almost double the size of the fireworks display for us. So we're very thankful that the Parks Board works very diligently to put on a pretty good show there.
Very good. So make sure to put that on your calendar. Thank you, as always, to staff. Everybody have a wonderful, safe 4th of July. I know I talked with staff members at the end of, I guess it would have been 2 meetings ago since I wasn't at the last one. Just didn't know if there was any information you could share with us. I know there was a site plan that we had approved regarding Willow Wind, a potential project there. I didn't know if there's any particular update regarding that you could share with the rest of the commission, just in general, or?
So unfortunately, things kind of fell through with that project. However, they're still looking to, for another space here in Raymore, and they seem to have found one.
Good.
So we're kind of just waiting on that application to be submitted, so, yep.
Awesome. Very good. Well, that's all I got for the rest of tonight. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Faulkner, second by Commissioner Manser to adjourn. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passed unanimously, 8-0. We are adjourned. Thank you.